True.
I did have something that is unforgettable happen today. But it's something that I don't really want to laugh at.
Oh, no. What happened?
I just want to start with like a round of applause for Publix.
Really?
They're out there hiring just anybody. It was some of the... I've never experienced anything like it. I thought it was a joke for 2 minutes.
Really?
Because it was so intense.
Yeah.
And it was a sweet woman who had a mask on. And you know the desk lady from Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
So it was like that,
Mr. Wazowski or whatever.
like that, but high pitched and not raspy.
Huh.
Asking me what I wanted at 2.5 miles an hour, like for my pub sub.
What, like talking slow?
And I like just completely thought she was kidding, and I was like laughing it off. And then it was like, it came to like, do you want it toasted?
Oh, no.
Like that, you know? I was just like, man, if she's out here applying for jobs, like there's people on disability.
Yeah, she's out here putting in work.
You know,
And
she should be the one getting paid by the government.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, there's
These
plenty,
motherfuckers out here
there's plenty of able-bodied guys out there.
still milking it. So good for her, just putting in that work. It's too gnarly to like fully laugh about, honestly. Like it was bad.
Yeah. Well, the worst part is when you're not sure if they're messing with you or not.
Right.
Yeah. Especially when they look normal, you know? And then it's like they start talking like that, and you're like, oh, good thing I didn't play along.
You're putting her on the sandwiches, though?
Yeah.
That is the most amount of questions that you have to ask in all of public.
Yeah.
She killed it. It was a good sandwich. Also, huge props. Heavy on the salt and pepper. And
she went heavy on the salt and pepper?
Yeah, like good heavy. Like these whites out here don't be knowing how to season a fucking sandwich.
Good.
When I asked for salt and pepper, like I'm trying to taste that salt and pepper. And she lopped it on there.
You got to have a lot of salt and pepper
So,
on
yeah.
subs. Did you know, have you ever had Sub Spice from Subway? Dude, it's...
What?
Dude, it's called Sub Spice, and it's just like salt and something else. And it's like... It kind of looks like Tony Chachery. It's Tony Chachery's. Tony Chachery's.
It's like a seasoning salt, kind of.
Yeah, it's really good though. It's really good and it's potent. So they'll sprinkle a little bit, and you're like, oh, that's not enough. But
You know, there's two things about Subway's bread. One is it's not even considered bread and not sold in anywhere but the U.S. and like Central American stuff, like over in Europe.
Yeah.
Or they don't. If they do have Subways, they don't do it the same way. It's not considered bread because of the amount of sugar in it.
It's cake.
Right, yeah, it's like a dessert. It's not like a bread.
That's weird.
Another thing is there's a chemical in it that is the same chemical used to make yoga mats.
Oh, I can see.
Oh, it's just like...
I can see it.
But it's like they're going for that smell, dude. When you walk in a Subway,
It's...
time to munch.
Yep. Fresh baked in your nostrils.
And it's a problem when you're lifeguarding because that's your lunch.
That's the only
If you're
place I can
halfway
get.
lazy, like you're not about to...
Yeah.
Especially after a day of lifeguarding, you're not about to go home and prep a lunch for the next day.
No. I can't eat any more Subway. I just can't, dude.
There's a point where you become maxed out. I became maxed out and then found out like these things about the bread, and it's just bad.
Yeah. I've been eating 4 hard-boiled eggs for lunch yesterday and today because I just like...
Feeling pretty good.
You go to the... Yeah, no, I mean, I love eggs. It's just like... It's either Subway or the eggs.
Right.
Pretty much.
I had a client this evening tell me about how meat is terrible for you.
Oh. Of course it is.
It's so tough. It's
What's
so
their
tough
reasoning?
to just hear that.
What's the reasoning behind it, though?
Gave me no reasoning and just said, especially for weight loss, chicken is really bad.
What? No, it's the best thing. It's one of the
I'm
best
like,
things.
dude, I was honest with him. I'm like, listen, man, look at me and look at you. I didn't say that. That's what I was thinking, obviously. I was just like, hey, man, I don't have my nutrition specialist certification yet. That's my next thing on my CEU. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not going to come spit at you with facts because it's not on my fucking business card yet. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
Best be ready.
The day.
But I'm just like, man, I've tried so many diets and there's huge biovariability. Like, to just put a stigma on, especially meat.
Yeah, dude.
How can you even say that with a straight face?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Excuse me.
Like, let's look up, I'm going to look up the percentage of professional bodybuilders that are straight vegan.
There's only, I watched a show about it. There's one power lifter. And they milked this guy like a motherfucker. But there's only one that I found. Or that they found when they filmed the documentary. He does not look that healthy.
Okay, this is from 2019. I'm seeing top 19 vegan bodybuilders.
That's like, there's no way. There's no way. You can't, I don't think you can physically get that much food into your stomach that you need. Like, to build the protein you need to build that amount of muscle. It's like, yeah, you can get protein from plants, of course. But like, when you're at that level, like, none of them have won first place. None of them have won Mr. Olympia. I guarantee it. Because
yeah, for sure.
You can't. Like, you can't rebuild I'm not near as educated as you are, but I know common sense. It's like, if you're like working out hard, you eat protein, and if you're working out that hard and building that much muscle, like, you gotta eat a lot of fucking protein. You can only eat so many black beans. Like, to get the same amount of protein that you would get from like a pack of chicken breasts, like, how many fucking cans of black beans do you have to eat? You know, or peanut butter, like.
Yeah, I mean, a lot. And the comparison of creatine that you're getting from vegetables, which most are none, versus what you're getting from meats.
What part does creatine play in muscle growth? Is just the hydration?
Hydration, strength building, endurance building.
True.
Yeah, I mean, everything you want.
Yeah.
And then there's like the two main types of creatine. Apparently there's like a third now that Caged is coming out with. But there's the hydrochloride and then there's the monohydrate. Okay. Monohydrate is going to make you retain water weight. So you're going to look a little bit bigger because of it. People vary with that as well. So when I take creatine, I've pretty much spot on to the poundage. Like, it's 5 pounds of water that I retain.
Oh, I see. Monohydrate or
monohydrate?
What about hydrochlorine or
the HCl is,
because I took that for
the same exact benefits. Tastes like fucking ass.
Oh, I know.
Like, I forgot because I really hadn't taken it before. I don't think when it was in stuff I was taking it, like, which I don't do that anymore. Like, any pre-mixed creatine, I don't think that's a good thing unless it's food.
True.
0 extra poundage, but the same exact results. Like, it really is. It's the same exact thing. You're just not retaining the water. And so I don't understand the exact mechanism. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But I mean, I can show pictures of just like months apart of pretty much the same-ish muscle mass, maybe give or take a couple pounds.
Yeah.
But how I look is like, and my weight is so much different just from taking a monohydrate.
So you think you monohydrate, you look big and you have 5 more pounds. Hydrochloride, you look big, but you don't have the extra 5 pounds.
Hydrochloride, you're getting the endurance and strength benefits, but it's not really, and it's changing your look by helping you build muscle, but not adding this like free 5 pounds of thickness.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it kind of, it's very common to, like, when you're bulking, like, to go on a monohydrate, right? And then cutting, you don't want, if you're wanting to look smaller or more lean, you don't want a tiny bit of extra fluff.
Yeah.
Until you start getting insecure about, like, you're not filling out your shirt as much, so you get back on the monohydrate.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's the issue. Like, when you bulk, it feels so good in clothes. Like you're bulking in the winter, you're filling out a hoodie, and it's like, damn, dude. But then you take that shit off, and it's like, could be more shredded. But then when you're shredded, you're like, you're not always filling out your t-shirt sleeves. But if you have a chance to take your shirt off, it's like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
There's a big give and take.
It's a huge give and take. It's hard to say which one is the better one too, because they both are equally. You get the same brain reward equally. I feel like for both of them.
Yeah.
It's just so different.
But fuck, it's like you go out on the town. It's like you're not having your shirt off. You want to fill that shit out.
Yeah.
You're just like, we're cutting. We're cutting, everybody.
Maybe.
I know it was super, like, way bigger 3 months ago.
You think that's why, like, people that come from the Midwest or, like, up north that come down here and visit, they're all, like, some of them might be muscular and big and bulky, but almost no one's cut. Like, you don't see unless that's your job, you don't see cut people coming from anywhere except for California and Florida. I feel like.
That warmth, baby. I mean, I mean, I'm going to say that's definitely, like, a generalization, but I do see what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just judging it off of tourists I see here.
Right.
Versus the locals
here.
here.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
You know? Because, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. If you live in Florida, it's like it gets cold in the winter. You're probably not going to go to the beach.
Right.
You're still going to go to the gym. So just get big.
No, for sure. I get what you're saying. Like, there's nothing to prep for when you're up north. Like, you're always wearing clothes. Like, just maybe you go to the pool or you just have one in your backyard.
You're just constantly bulking.
But it's literally like March is coming up. It's time to fucking stop eating Whatabees.
Yeah. Yep. Sometimes you go a little longer.
These truly suck ass, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Wildberry?
Didn't have claws.
Ugh. I'm still hydrating from scalloping.
Oh my God.
Oh, I gotta show them my bruise before I forget. I fell on the boat.
Yeah, buddy.
Good Lord.
Just a quick slip. I didn't even see it. It was like the blink of an eye.
It was quick. Dude, I hit and then I landed straight on my feet and was like, I mean, I knew, like, I was like, I just messed I hit hard. And I was like, I wanted to put my hand back, but I walked it off for a second, and I was like 50-50 of like, all right, either like I just ripped my thigh open, like it gashed like deep, dude. I was like, I just did that, or I'm just gonna have a huge bruise. And like I felt back, I was like, thank God.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
So back to these vegan bodybuilders, they're all gonna claim like I look this way because I'm vegan. They're all on steroids and eating vegetables. So,
which I feel like is even worse for you.
And that's a huge misconception also, that if you take steroids, you get big. They're obviously putting in more work than anybody else on the entire planet. But it's not the plants that are boosting you. I can tell you that, my friend.
What does that remind me of? It reminds me of like someone who's a vegan bodybuilder that's on steroids reminds me of like, you ever seen Mad Max Fury Road? It reminds me of like one of those cars. You remember that he was spraying that stuff into the exhaust? It reminds me of doing that to a car that is running on empty. I feel like that's what they're doing to their bodies. Like it's the equivalent of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably wrong, but that's just what it reminds me.
Well, and like if it's about being like meat is unhealthy, and then you're injecting this foreign substance in your body
that has animal byproducts in it for sure.
Right.
Yeah. If it's for sure. They get
It's kind of like the schmeft being just all about aborting babies, but making you want to jab yourself.
Oh, I know. Of course.
A little bit of a stretch, but it's been pissing me off lately thinking about that.
I know.
Specifically, someone on a podcast saying that I've had 3 abortions and then like shunning people for that shit.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's like, that's so funny how
you're probably
blatantly hypocritical and just opposite ends of your own brain you can be.
Mm-hmm. Just like the people, no critical thinking of like, maybe I should just think for myself for just a second. Instead of spouting off something I read on the internet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good God.
Well, speaking of like steroids, and I guess it's kind of like a medical thing. I saw this doctor talking about, let me make sure I get this Rotation plasty. Mm-hmm. Have you heard of that? Mm-mm. So you've heard of the procedure, but not what it's called. So it's oftentimes when a tumor is in the leg and they can't excise it.
Like get it out?
Right. I think that's the right terminology.
I don't know.
And they need to amputate so it doesn't spread to the rest of their body. Mm-hmm. They go like the lower half of the leg, above the kneecap, amputate, take the middle part of the leg and spin your foot 180 degrees and then attach it back so that your ankle is your knee joint and your foot backwards slides perfectly into a prosthetic.
Whoa. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess that does make sense. Yeah,
you spin that ankle around, it's a fucking knee joint.
Wow.
And you got that foot lock.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I never heard of that.
Yeah,
where did you hear about
common.
That? Where did you hear about
that? Online. I was looking at fucking medical shit.
That's really cool. I never even thought about it like that.
So yeah, we'll spin that sucker 180 and we'll just shorten it. Mm-hmm. And that'll just be a perfect hook.
That's crazy. It's crazy what they can. If they can do stuff like that with the human body, like imagine if morality just went out the window and it's just like we're experimenting on humans. Like imagine what we could do to people. It's like you're just treating a human leg like a Lego at that point, and they can do it
like a Lego.
They can do it like that if they do it that often.
Well, and you're telling, why can't they just put bigger dicks on people?
Oh, they can.
But they just don't. I already looked it up.
No, I don't. I mean, yeah, I think they could probably like put filler or something in it. I would imagine. I don't know.
So I think we talked about this on the podcast before, but they do a thing where they like open the penis up, like your existing penis, and put something inside of it.
Uh-huh.
And there was this multi-mega billionaire that's like, I have everything in the world. Just the one thing is my dick's kind of small. And he's like, you know what? I'll just go do it.
Yeah.
And they over-anesthetized him and killed him.
They can't always get what you want. You know what though? I like to think he opened his eyes in paradise and he looked down and he had the biggest goddamn dick that anyone's ever seen.
Yeah, hopefully they sutured him before he went up top.
He opens his eyes and he's in paradise. Big old dick slinging around.
Do you fuck in heaven?
I don't know, dude. That whole part.
This is your realm.
That whole part of the Bible is very vague.
Oh, they touch on it a bit? Like it's the best up here, but not the best.
It kind of sounds all right. That heaven that is in the Bible sucks, in my opinion. I don't really. It does.
I love this take.
Well, because all right. So here's like the few things we know about it. So they say the streets are paved with gold so pure that it's transparent, which is weird. So it's like piss colored.
Nice.
Yeah, which is weird. I don't know where that came from. And then they say everyone is around the throne of God, like singing praises forever. That's what they're doing. But then they say you have a mansion there. So I don't know. So it's like, are we hanging in a mansion that we have there?
Or are you forced into a choir?
That's what it sounds like. And then also, it says when the kingdom of heaven comes to earth, so people die and they go to heaven. And then in the last days, the place that people have been going when they die is coming back to earth. So heaven is going to be on earth eventually. That's the whole thing. But there's no more sea. There's no more ocean. That's like they're very specific about that in the Bible.
Does that come after the rapture?
Yeah, yeah. So the rapture happens, a bunch of shit happens. I don't know the timeline, but then the new heaven, or there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth, and the kingdom of heaven is going to be lowered onto the earth like a UFO. And then for some reason there's no more ocean though. There's no more sea. For some reason, and that's super gay.
Yeah. I feel like God likes dolphins.
Yeah, you can't surf.
And you can't surf.
So, I don't know. that's why it's like the whole, I mean, it's all metaphorical, of course. It has to be, because if it's not, then it's like, well, I don't. This whole
If
thing.
it's not, that's why asylums were created.
Yeah, if it's not metaphorical, like I don't want to go there. Like, I don't. So why am I even going to church? Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe
So
that's why
all-
there's so many school shootings, because they don't want to go to heaven.
Yeah, they're just making sure. That's so ridiculous. Just guaranteeing. Like, fuck that.
Place sounds like ass. I'm not going.
Yeah. Y'all go and let me know how it is.
This is the guarantee
Yeah.
that I'm not there.
God.
Yeah, it's a rough way to go about
it. That's all I know that the Bible says about it, though. I'm sure the Quran and the Torah say other stuff.
It's so funny. You'll go on these 37-minute rants, and you'll be like, I only know a little bit.
Well, there's people out there that study the stuff their whole life. I don't want to put them down.
Yeah, but to the fucking... No one fucking listens to them. Like, they're not in just, like, a friend group. Like, they're doing some weird shit. You know?
Yeah. No, the heaven thing, that's like my least... I think that's the least interesting part about any of the Bible. It's all poetry. You got to read it for what it is. It's poetry, and it's also kind of like... It's kind of like what the... I mean, it's like the Greeks had the... I like Greek stuff. They have Poseidon and Zeus.
I like... That stuff is my favorite.
It's interesting.
I love the multi-god theory.
It's interesting. Yeah, and then there's... we'll get into something crazy in a second. Ooh, and then the Norse, they have Odin and all them. Who else is there? Freya. They have their gods, and like
that's my shit.
It's cool stuff, and you gotta think there was like entire cultures that was their Bible. Like Odin was God, like that. Yeah. He was real to them, and like that's how they operated. So it's interesting to me, like that's more so of like I do believe in God, but that's more so of how I view all religions or the lens I try to look at everything through, because you can just have a more objective view.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting to see like there's always there's huge parallels in all of them. Like with Jesus, like he was like the god Apollo. Like Jesus was modeled after the god Apollo. Like Jesus was a real person, but then once he was dead, and they were like, kind of like adjusting the image of Jesus. Like how are we gonna make like what kind of celebrity status are we gonna give this guy? Like how are we gonna paint him in paintings and stuff? And he looks like if you look at a painting of Apollo, you'd be like, oh, that's Jesus. Like they look the exact same. And then early Christians used to consult the what was her name? The Oracle of Delphi. And the Oracle of Delphi was like a descendant, like she would commune with the Greek gods. But early Christians, they didn't really know any better. They're like, this is what we've always done, is consult her because she's a prophet or she's like the oracle. Yeah. And they would go talk to her. And then I think the Catholic Church or someone was like, y'all got to stop doing that. There's some weird stuff, but what I was going to say about the multi-god thing is, good Lord, why am I burping so much? There was I forgot which god. It's one of the books of the Bible that didn't make it into the official Bible, but it was written by the apostle of Peter. I believe it was the book of Peter. Or no, was it? You gotta give me a second. Hang on. It's a long time since that. It was either the Gospel of Peter or the Gospel of one of the 12 disciples wrote a gospel. And what a gospel is it's an account of like Jesus, and it's like these guys were actually with him, and they wrote down what they did with Jesus and what he said, because Jesus never wrote anything down himself. So you have the first 4 books of the New Testament: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But there's other gospels that were written that didn't make it into the Bible, and one of those gospels talks about going into some garden with Jesus, and Jesus was pretty much told them, hey, like this God that you're all serving, this Jewish God, Yahweh, I think was what they called him or whatever, he's like, y'all are serving the wrong one. Like he's an asshole. Like the real true God is his brother, and his brother is really funny, and he's like he just kind of doesn't take anything seriously. Like, you guys are serving his brother that's kind of an asshole, and he takes shit too seriously, and he like kind of likes to see you guys suffer. And so like that is something that Jesus said to one of the disciples, but it doesn't fit the monotheistic thing. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Extremely weird.
Yeah. And it was either the Gospel of Peter, it could have been the Gospel of Judas, but I don't think it was. And then people, of course, would be like, oh, well, Judas was just trying to fuck everything up. I think it was Peter. I'll look it up.
Let me ask you this.
What?
So, how many renditions have there been? Like, it's like Old Testament, New Testament?
I mean, of the Bible, probably hundreds. Like, a lot has been lost in translation.
And this is all like trying to create the true book, or is this like a Harry Potter series?
It's a good question. It's trying to create the true book on paper, is what they say it is. I feel like most of it though is, well, so the Old Testament of the Bible is the Torah, and the Torah is the Jewish holy book. Right. But not really, because the Torah is supposed to only be read in Hebrew because that's its original language. So you technically have to learn Hebrew to read the true Old Testament. But
because there's not always exact translation.
Yes, exactly. But you can read it in English, and it's just a little bit different than what the original stuff said. And then the New Testament was put together, like, I think a few hundred years after Jesus was gone. They put the New Testament together. And so that was like the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, who lived with Jesus and like did stuff with him. And then like letters that were wrote to all the churches. So like Corinthians was wrote to the church in Corinth. Romans was written to the Roman church. And those letters were all written by the Apostle Paul. And in one of our early podcasts, I brought this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wrote a third of it.
Yeah.
And he never met Jesus. So
yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, I remember that.
There's a lot.
Fucking Paul.
Dude, when you get into it, it's like, man, this is weird. But it is. It's interesting, though. It's very interesting because it's just like it's just like the old religions, the Norse and the mythology, the Greek.
So what would you, in today's age right now, who would you compare all of those people to?
What do you mean? Who?
Like, who would be the Apostle Paul and all of those other, like, three people that you just named that hung out with Jesus and were trying to create this thing because they like know the person and they're trying to get it out to everybody? Like, is there 3 or 4 homies that are like that right now that are hanging out with this dude?
Probably.
You think we might not know for a few hundred years?
Yeah. Well, I've said before, I think we're ripe for a new religion. I just don't know what it'll look like. Let me think. Who could that be? I don't know. You never know. You know, they just kind of pop up out of nowhere, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, it could be just brewing right now.
Oh, yeah. And then they'll say it's the Antichrist because everyone's waiting on the Antichrist. I don't know. It's all weird. I had some stuff I wanted to bring up. I done ranted too long.
Give me something.
Dude.
No, that was great, dude. I love getting into that with you.
Hell yeah.
I always have stupid questions, and you just give me something good.
Boom. I love that stuff, though. It's very interesting. If I could, in my older years, I would like to like really research religion and like do some deep studies on it and like see what's going on.
Yeah,
it's very fascinating. I mean, it's at the fabric of every civilization.
It never was to me, and I've never cared to talk about it until we became friends.
Yeah, it is though. I mean,
like, you've made it interesting to me.
Yeah, it is at the like if you go to court, like it says in God We Trust, like
yeah, it's like, how in the fuck?
Yeah,
everyone just agrees on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Just researching why, and like what they.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. Like, you're full either Satanist or antagonist or whatever, and if you go to like testify, don't you like raise your hand to God? Mm-hmm. So off the bat, you're lying,
yeah.
saying that you're not gonna lie.
Yeah,
because you don't believe that what you know.
Yeah,
that's a flaw.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they should have another chant for you to recite back if you don't believe in God.
That would be so dope. For the Luciferians.
Right, though?
Yeah.
You're starting off with a lie.
You are. Or they just,
Specifically to the thing that is saying, I will not lie because I'm in front of God.
kicking it off.
I'm not in front of him.
Yeah, sure. I promise.
It's like crossing your toes under the fucking table.
Uh-huh. It's exactly what it's like.
Huh.
Yeah, I wonder how they get around that. Well, you've seen all the stuff with the Church of Satan where they put like the statues of Baphomet and stuff like in the courtrooms, because some courtrooms will have like the 10 Commandments and they're like, well, separation of church and state, like,
Yeah.
my God is
Freedom
Baphomet.
of religion.
And so there's like, did you seen the picture?
No.
Oh.
No, I
Let
know
me show
nothing.
you this really quick. It's pretty funny. I mean, everyone that goes to church, like Christians, got really mad about it.
Good. Well, good for them.
But it's like, I mean, you got to look. It's a joke. Like, look at what they're doing. It's. They had to put it up, so it was up for like 4 days.
Yeah.
But then they were like, all right, and they took this statue and the 10 Commandments down.
And I say good for them, not like I'm anti-God or a higher power or whatever. I
As a
just
little
think
kid,
I'm pro-people.
they put that up outside the courthouse.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, that goat head is sick.
Yeah, they said, hey, like, if you can put the 10
Pop that shit up. Yeah.
They're like, if you can put the 10 Commandments, then we're going to put, like, Baphomet, because he's technically our God. And 2 little kids looking up at him.
Think about the time it took to construct that.
Yeah, that's like art. That's an art piece of art. Yeah, just...
I might get that. That might be my fucking back piece, son. That's sick.
I don't even know where that comes from either. Like, why that's a Satanist thing. Because, like, it doesn't... I don't think that's in the Bible. Like,
I mean, it doesn't look far off from, like, an Egyptian pharaoh.
no. Just... It has angel wings.
Yeah. Because it's like an archangel. Is that the idea?
Him?
That's what...
No, that's... I think he's supposed to be like a demon or something.
Oh. Aren't demons supposed to be archangels, though?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Angels and demons.
Huh.
Yeah, you are. Well, demons are the 1/3 of the angels.
Who would hit that?
What did you say?
Aren't demons archangels? Aren't those demons kind of like an angel?
I don't know.
What did you say? If you saw an angel, you could maybe see him being a demon? I mean, what really are demons? Let me hear you say demon. Thank you.
Good stuff. I love this app.
That's a good app.
It's called, for y'all who are wondering, called Praise Break. The Praise Break app. Go ahead and get it.
That could have been us. That is such a us thing to create.
Oh, I know. It's
Because I know we've done, before that app came out, we've done that on the keyboard, just talking in here.
Oh, yeah.
God. Oh, it's so simple and so genius.
The one that I wanted to get, because I saw it on like Instagram or something, there's one that's like $50. And it kind of does that, but it's a little bit better than that one. But it's like, damn.
$50 better?
Yeah, no, not. But you know people were buying that.
Yeah.
There's little churches up in the country, just... They got the sound guy sitting back there.
He's got this 84 channel soundboard and he's on his iPhone.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, guys, I can run this.
I don't know how any of this shit works.
Exactly.
I got the apps.
That's all you need nowadays, though.
For real. You can do a lot.
You can.
Turn your
Okay.
phone sideways. You can fit 6 channels.
Oh, yeah. I can control the church I run sound for. I can control theirs on my phone. The whole soundboard.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The Allen and Heath mixers. Those things are cutting edge. It's a great company. Very good customer service.
Hell yeah.
They are. They're dope. All right. Anyways, what I wanted to bring up. Have you Have you heard anything in the past like 2 days about the chess community?
Yes.
You have, dude.
Yeah. Wait, like about that dude cheating?
Yes.
And then Elon starting that thing about playing with anal beads or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the number one theory right now is this guy cheated against Magnus Carlsen, who's the best chess player to ever live, apparently. I don't know. But I have heard of him before. I know he's good. But yeah, they're like, the only way he could have cheated is if he had anal beads that vibrated and like and told him where to move. That's the leading theory. Did Elon Musk start that?
No, I think I was listening to Rogan and they were that's the only reason I know about it. And apparently someone, I guess, maybe they were just making a joke because I didn't look into it at all. I was cleaning my boat this morning, listening to a little bit of that podcast. It was Tony actually on there, Tony and Hans on Rogan.
Nice.
And it might have just been a far out there joke, like that's something Elon would start.
Yeah.
And it would just obviously gain traction just because he said it. Mm-hmm. But I thought that it was just Elon that said that, and it was his theory. So it's way funnier that's like the chess community is saying the only way.
Yeah. Well, I think it started as I don't know if it started as a joke or not, but that is the leading theory now because like they check a bunch of stuff before you go into the tournament. So it's like the only way he could have had something on him telling him what to move would be if he had anal beads.
So the idea is this dude is like grandmaster or whatever, and this guy was, plus 10 million in the books.
It was
to win, right? Like if we were comparing, like, say you were betting on someone like
that was 350 to 1.
That much of an underdog. Okay, yeah. Not 10 million, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
In that way. And my understanding is that in the past he's been caught, or they have evidence that he has cheated before.
Yes, but he was like 12 years old and it was
online.
Yes. And he admitted to it. He was like, yeah, I cheated on online show.
Fucking give it to him.
Yeah.
Think about how hard it would be to cheat at that.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way you can, I mean, unless it's the anal vibrations, but it's a memorization.
Yeah.
How else can you cheat other than memorizing the whole fucking table?
Yeah, well,
besides anal beads.
Memory goes out the window with chess after like 2 moves, though. Like you have to dynamically play the game. Like you can't like there's nothing
you can't memorize every single possible situation that can happen.
No. Right. And so the two pieces of evidence, like one piece of evidence makes me think he cheated, and the other piece of evidence makes me think that it was literally a publicity stunt.
Okay, the one piece of evidence that makes you think that he cheated was he shit his pants after?
No.
Because of loose butthole? Or what?
There's a picture of him and Magnus Carlsen playing chess together on Miami Beach like a month and a half ago, like hanging out together. Yeah. But the piece of evidence,
Magnus Carlsen is the person that he beat.
Yeah, and he's the greatest chess player like that's ever walked to the earth.
So what makes you think like they're in cahoots?
Yes. Oh. To bring publicity, because we're sitting here talking about chess.
Oh. Yeah.
No one talks about chess. Like they had the Queen's Gambit, and then chess was like, and then now.
Right.
So like a lot of people think it's a publicity stunt, and the bets was 350 to 1. So if they just put like 30 grand. Down.
And Magnus takes a percentage of
exactly.
Yeah. Ooh.
And then, but the other piece of evidence, which this could just be more supportive of the other theory, but the game that Magnus played, I guess is what you would call it. He's only ever played that type of game or like did those moves once before. And the guy who beat him said, "Oh, I studied this game I've studied this before. He does this like all the time, or like I've seen him do this before. So this is how I beat him." But then people went back and looked at all of his previous games, and he had only done that once before. So it's like, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What's their course of action? Like they're just trying to bust him and take away like a title?
There's no way to prove he cheated anymore. Like the anal beads have been shit out already, so it's like I mean, there's no way. I don't know how you would prove it.
How old is this kid?
It's 22, I think. The one that beat him.
I mean, he's That's a good experimenting age.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I hope that that's what happened, and I hope he gets caught, just because that would be insane. It would be insane.
Yeah. It would do more for the sport.
Yeah. But he may... I don't know. I don't think he actually... regardless either theory, I don't think he beat Magnus Carlsen. Like, I think Magnus could have beat him. Because he's the great, like he is the best.
Right, like at the very least, he let him win.
Yes, yeah, he's Kelly Slater of chess.
Yeah,
pretty much. I think he's lost. I think he's lost like one game his whole entire life or something.
Who is that person?
I don't know. The anal bead pioneer. Yeah, look up Magnus Carlsen chess career losses. He's weird looking too. You ever seen him?
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah, no.
It's probably jacked too.
Magnus.
Oh, you know it came up.
Oh yeah. You wonder if he's related to Hunter Carlson.
The big unpleasant surprise is Carlsen, who lost 3 games right after he passed 2,900 rating blitz points. What?
What is that?
He lost to Hans Niemann.
Yeah, that's the anal bead guy.
Oh, okay. So they're just talking about this.
Is that his only loss?
Maybe.
Well, see, then there, it's like, if that's his only loss, they're in cahoots. Or he cheated. They're in cahoots or he cheated.
Magnus Carlsen has lost against many players, but since he became the world champion in 2013, he has lost very few games, 28 in classical time control.
Oh, he's lost 28?
Yeah.
No, he's not that
28
good,
games. But I don't know how chess works. Maybe that doesn't mean he's lost like 28 tournaments.
I don't know.
Or do you automatically...
Look up greatest chess players of all time and see if he's number 1. I'm curious. Who is the other guy? Kasparov. Kasparov might be the greatest of all time.
Magnus Carlsen, Anatoly Karpov, Viswanathan Anand.
That's a sick ass name. What does he look like?
Viswanathan?
Damn. That's cool. I like that name. What was Kasparov's first name? Gary?
Gary Kasparov's coming in at number 4.
So Gary Kasparov, a very interesting thing about him, he, like a big turning point in human history happened with him because he was beat by a computer program called Deep Blue. And like, it's kind of, who's the guy, John Henry? Is he the guy who did all the railroad guy who did all the railroad spikes against the machine? You remember that story?
I can't confirm, but
yeah. So it was like this. They made the railroad machine that like steam powered and did the railway spikes, and then this John Henry guy was like, no, he's like, the machine can't be better than a human being, and he like did all, like he beat the machine, but he died right afterwards. So this was like one of those moments in history because Kasparov was going against Deep Blue and all these computer programmers, and this was like in the 60s, it was way back. And they're like, there's no way you can't program something to be good at a dynamic game like chess. Like Kasparov's gonna destroy it, but Deep Blue ended up just cleaning him up.
Huh. Mm-hmm. And then he killed himself?
I don't know if I doubt it. Chess players are very narcissistic. I don't think many of them killed themselves. They probably go crazy.
Yeah.
It's a cutthroat sport. Like the culture is weird. I watched like a...
I mean, there's like these 4 guys on this list, and then it's like 14, 12 to 15, whatever. Mm-hmm. Or not that long, because you can't live that long, but...
Yeah.
You know, like that's like the top 10 like goes back that far.
It's weird.
Seems pretty cutthroat.
Yeah, for real.
There's a few more NBA players that make a mark.
Yeah, dude, it's weird. It's a weird culture. Kind of like Russian chess. Like chess is Russia's pastime. If that tells you anything, because they're weird over there.
Yeah, I can tell by the names.
Yeah, right. It's so weird that Russians take certain things so fucking seriously.
Is there more obvious names? I mean, besides like asterisks above E's or whatever, like obviously there's Latino person.
What do you?
But I mean, fuck, just like Russians, like you, just by looking at their name, it's so obvious.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, are there more obvious
Yeah,
stuff?
I
than
think
Russian?
it's the most obvious.
I think it is too, by far. Well, yeah.
Aggressive, like it's just aggressive.
Specifically Russian, like as far as countries go, yeah, Russian. Because
right.
you can tell if someone has an Asian name, but
Yeah,
you can't really
right.
tell where from Asia. Asia's huge,
Right.
But if it's
Right.
it's a fucking Russian. Mm-hmm. It's like, here comes fucking Igor Polanski or something.
Yeah, exactly.
There he is. Wonder where he's from.
Yeah.
Igor. Did you know that the word slave comes from the Slavic people? Like Slavic, you've heard that. Like, oh, he's from a Slavic region. So that's like Poland, Russia, Chechnya, Moldova.
Because they're known as being shitty places?
No, because they made good slaves.
Oh.
Like, so many Slavic people were enslaved. They're very white, like whiter than fucking normal white people.
Huh.
And they made really
no,
good.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where slave comes from. It's from the Slavic people who were just super white, but made really good slaves, apparently. I don't know if they made good slaves or if so many were enslaved. It's
Right.
one of those two things, but that's where that word comes from. Isn't that weird?
Yes.
Yeah. Because you don't
Really carried over.
Yeah, right. It's really weird. I love messing with this thing.
Next question.
Yeah, let's let it reload. I had one more thing. I can't remember it. Oh yeah, it's kind of stupid. It's just something
Perfect.
It's something I like. So we like sports, but you know what I like more than sports?
Money.
Yes. Sports books. Oh, one more thing after this. Let me forget. It just popped in my head. But I like sports, but what I like more than sports is I like talking to people who really like sports.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's the best, dude. Like, you just go up to him. There was a guy at the church I grew up going to, and me and my buddy were like, let's just mess with homeboy over here. And we're like, let's just pick a random name, and we'll ask him about him. We're like, hey, did you see Chad Pazowski the other day at the game? And he'd be like, you mean Chad Pazinski, man? And we're like, yeah. And he would go off, dude.
It's
Like,
just every fact.
yep. Like,
Right, yeah.
it could be a random name, and he'd be like, oh, you mean this guy? It'd be close enough to something. And we're like, yes. And then he would just, like, he was going off on Tuesday night, dude. Like,
Dude, it's as if they birthed them.
yes. Defend them to the death, dude. They get fired up about stuff, like, more than, like, some politics people get fired up about politics, more than...
Oh, for sure. And many of them never played the sport that they're so into.
No. They're, like, out of shape.
Or ever put money down on it. Like, even
just love
sports that I played, even surfing, like, I just don't follow it, like, intensely.
No. But there's just a 1% of the population, I would say. 1 to 3%. And they're the guys, dude. They know
Yeah.
it. They've got all the apps, dude. They got, I don't even know. They got websites they go to with just numbers and rows.
Dude, and somehow Shay, like, he's not, like, weird like those people. But
he
he just
knows.
has, like, it's almost like he has a photographic memory with sports.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he's playing a video game and he'll have ESPN on, he will absorb every word that was said on that show, and he could repeat it to you 10 years later.
That's
It's so weird.
Yeah, Yeah, I love those people.
That's so weird.
I just thought about that. I was like, that'd be fun to bring up.
No, it is funny. It's funny. I've run into those people before.
It's the best.
And then you tell them, like, I don't really watch football.
Okay, dude. What? You just
Fucking vote for Biden?
You just slap their wife in front of them. Like, damn. I'm sorry. Also, just real quick, sports book for Little League. Why doesn't that exist?
It's kind of like child porn.
No, it's just good fun. You could do it. You can make the website.
That's kind of just like child pornography.
I would say, yeah, it is. It's child exploitation, I would say, but there's a way to do it that everyone comes out on top, I think.
I mean, that shit's hype, dude. And it could be hyper.
Little League, dude, littleLeagueSportsbook.com. Cut this whole part out. Because we're going to buy that on top of T-Pump. I didn't want to say it because we'll probably get...
Shit.
Oh, yeah, baby. But yeah, dude, Little League Sportsbook, I don't know.
No, you're right. I was trying to make a joke. I was like looking on Bet Online to see if it was on there.
Really?
And that was happening. Yeah.
Yeah. The only issue would be like it would be really hard to like gauge the payouts and like the whatever it's called, the 1100 to 1.
Yeah, it'd be like fucking UFC in the early days.
Yeah, it's like we're just gonna send a guy out there and he's gonna assess the situation and just give us some numbers.
I don't know though. They have that shit's on ESPN. Like people are searching these kids out and like they know. I mean, they know what their favorite color is.
Just imagine like ESPN, like knocking on someone's door over in Villa Venice, and like their kids in there coloring a coloring book. Like, can we speak to Timmy for just 2 minutes?
I need to find out this motherfucker's over on.
Yeah, Timmy, what do you think about the recent allegations? I don't like potatoes.
Timmy got caught with nudes, so it's going to be heavily affected in this game coming up.
This is the most ridiculous shit.
I don't know. How old are these kids? Like 12?
Yeah, you would have to.
Yeah,
you got to draw the line somewhere.
Probably not in the nude stage. That's probably a bad comment.
He got caught with his mom's Victoria's Secret catalog.
Yeah, more for
And now he's in trouble. Back to you, Tom. So fucking stupid.
Word is spreading. Timmy's parents might get divorced. Not sure if you'll be pitching.
Will this affect his curveball?
We know he wasn't able to hit that one out of the park. Oh, shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that could be a whole thing.
That would be so funny, dude. You know, dude, you would have dads throwing thousands of dollars down, bro. Like, so bad.
Jake's dad fucked Sean's mom.
We got some real beef on the field tonight.
It is spreading through the middle school like wildfire.
Yeah.
This kid is gonna be heated.
Yeah. These bleachers are electric, John.
Oh man,
Dude. Just the small town drama circulating.
just on ESPN.
Yeah, just blasted to the world, dude. That would
Dude,
be
and you have all the tennis moms report on it. They could be the journalists.
Yeah.
Because that's how they fucking talk.
Dude,
These idiots.
That might be like the best reality show that's ever existed.
Yeah.
Little League Sportsbook. That's the show.
Little League Sportsbook plus tennis moms of Golf Breeze.
Yeah. And it's just It's just what we just described.
Just
Any
the
little
most
bit
savage psychos just reporting on the news.
Just
gossiping.
You got dads that start betting against other kids because the other kids face these tragedies, and they're like, "He's not going to play good, man. It's a business move, you know." I can't.
Might have the inside scoop, might not.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable putting my money there right now.
God, dude, that's hilarious. That's hilarious to think about.
Especially here, of all places.
Oh, fuck. All right. That's probably a good place to end.
Yeah, we went over, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking this episode. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. We're twice a week.
Let's have a chat.